I'm Bryan Tuggle. I'm the director and founder of John 316 Ministries. We've been here 23 years. John 316 Ministries is a spiritual boot camp for men and women whose lives have been destroyed from alcohol and drug abuses. I stand my mom and dad, my boy's 5 years old, and I gave him a kiss in the middle of the night and said, "Son, I'll see you in heaven." And I had an 8-ball of cocaine and a half a gallon of whiskey, and I was going to kill myself. And I snorted it, and I drank it, and I was wondering what bridge I was going to run into or shoot myself or cut my wrist. What was I going to do to kill myself because I wasn't coming back home? He needed to call somebody else daddy. But people was praying for me. And those prayers from my loved ones and people kept me from killing myself. And when I came home 4 days later, I told my mom and dad that I'd get help if I could find a place that would teach Jesus. And I found that place at 31 years old. And I knew 6 years later, if it worked for me, it worked for others. So we take in the men and women who have no hope, and we give them hope when we give them Jesus. Well, we started with one man in 2003. We had 4 before we even opened up, and then men just kept coming. I was going to stop when we got to 22, tried to stop at 50. Even said when we got to 100 that God told me to stop taking guys. Well, that wasn't God, that was me, because people just kept coming. There is a screening process because we want to make sure that there's at least a little bit of inkling there that they really do want help. They want to get better. They want to have a life. And they're sick and tired of being a drug addict and alcoholic. And they're willing to change. And that's where we come in. We teach them to change. We teach them a new way of life. About 2.5 years ago, decided to take ladies. Of course, men and women are separated, but we also take husbands and wives now. And that gets us really close to taking the whole family. We're home here. There is no broken glass in the yard. There's no tinfoils on the windows. The blinds ain't all broke up. There ain't transmissions and motors out in the yard. This place looks like a golf course. It's our home. It looks like King's Kids lives here because that's who we are. And since I and all the residents, all the instructors here was once residents, we couldn't quit taking them. We just kept building more dorms. And then COVID hit, and fentanyl, and so many people are not getting second and third chances where they could come to a place like this. They're dying. All you got to have really to get in here is a willing attitude and a thankfulness about you. That's really it. Be willing and thankful. We take them in just as they are. God cleans them. God feeds them. He loves them. And leads them to his son named Jesus. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16.